Hello, everyone. Welcome to NB Geeks Let's Talk Neelix's Kitchen. And as you saw in my title, I am discussing Cowboy Bebop Season 1. And I will also be talking about the two episodes of Hawkeye, episodes 1 and 2. So let's start with Cowboy Bebop. Those of you who don't know, Cowboy Bebop, this is a live action 10 episode. This is based on the anime series of the same name. It's set in 2021. Series focuses on adventures of a ragtag group of bounty hunters chasing down criminals throughout the solar system. The Bebop is the name of the ship. Cowboy is what they call bounty hunters. And folks, I got to be completely honest. I thought they freaking nailed the spirit of the anime. I've seen some people say they hate it. It doesn't hold up. I honestly, I think they're out of their damn mind. But everybody's entitled to their opinion on shit. So let's go over the characters. You have John Chu as Spike Spiegel. Damn, I still haven't got my voice back. Also known as Fearless. Now, he's a bounty hunter born on Mars. And the thing is, he has a secret past. He's only been Spike Spiegel for 3 years. He was a hitman for what is called the Syndicate. I will get into that. He tried to get out. He faked his own death. Well, actually, they basically tried to kill him. And he let them believe they did. So John Chu really nailed this character. Just about everything looked dead on. From the way Spike's hair looked, to how he wore the clothes, to his walking with his hands in his pocket, to the way he leaned up against the wall, the way he talked, his love for noodles. I mean, he just did everything I thought almost spot on. I don't really have any complaints, but I love the chemistry. I love the chemistry between him, Mustafa Shakari, and if I brutalize his name, I'm sorry, as Jet Black, and Dianella Kennedy as Faye Valentine. I really thought they hit off a great set of characters. And I thought they gelled really well with their chemistry. So what you have is Spike has been a bounty hunter now for 3 years. Jet Black, his partner, is a former ISSP detective, and he is the captain of the Bebop. He does not know that Spike used to be in the Syndicate, because if he did, Spike has said he would probably kill him. Jet Black was wrongfully accused of being a dirty cop. Sentenced to 5 years to a penal colony on Mars. Or not Mars, sorry, Pluto. 5 years. This iteration has him having a daughter he has not seen in 5 years and an ex-wife. And his reputation is tarnished, and he looks for an opportunity to try and get it back. The dynamic between Jet Black and Spike Spiegel is Jet Black is a very broad, heavyset guy in the sense of, he's a real big man, whereas Spike is more the lengthy, lean type. Then you have Faye Valentine. She's the third bounty hunter and eventually joins the Bebop. She was in cryo suspension for 54 years, and unfortunately, that causes amnesia. So she knows next to nothing about her life. She was manipulated by a woman who basically manipulates cryo people who have come out amnesia and takes advantage of them. So that's one of the issues there. Then you have Julia. Julia is very smart, very attractive, very beautiful. She's married to a character named Vicious. And whereas Vicious, and I'm going to kind of compare these characters, combine them, because you have Vicious, who's very direct up front. He's got inferiority complexes and major daddy issues. He wants more power. He feels the Syndicate is holding him back. and they punish him by trying to have him prove his loyalty by giving them a gun and pointing it at Julia. Whereas Vicious said he pulls the trigger now, where he says he knew the weight was off of the gun, so he knew there wasn't a bullet in it. Julia, I don't think believes him, but it's possible he is, because he is a trained assassin and killer. Whereas Vicious is quick to anger, prone to violence, and wears his emotions on his sleeve. Julia is smart. She's talented and she's cunning. When Vicious wants to talk about going to war with the elders, she says, if you lose, there's nowhere we can hide. And he wants to get men and do a full frontal assault. She comes up with a better plan. She wants to get the lieutenants to be able to talk them into doing a coup, and actually take over the syndicate, become the elders themselves. And she's cunning. She used to be a singer. She's no longer now. In fact, one of the issues is she's forced to sing to get one of the lieutenants to help, knowing this is not something she wants to do anymore. She used to be a singer for a lady named Anna. Anna, she's a secondary character. She walks with a cane. She runs a nightclub, basically a jazz nightclub, and she loves Julia. She's very protective of her, and she also listens. She has her network. She listens to what's going on, and she basically sells information. There is Ian, the dog, with human intelligence. And spoiler alert, a lot of us called it. Radical Ed shows up at the end. So she finally shows up, which I heard a lot of people call that. I've called it when they took Ian off of the ship, and I was like, oh, this is where Ed's gonna come in. The visuals are beautiful. I mean, the CGI is beautiful. I love the griminess of it when you see the ugly looking cars and things like that, where some areas are very beautiful and majestic. You see most places suck, and they're grimy and they're dirty. So the visuals, the tone were good. The music is really great. There's a lot of jazz in there. There's a great episode where Jet Black actually meets up with his old partner because they think they've figured out, he thinks he's cracked the case on who set him up. It was a very noir style, with them both looking like cops from the 30s. And that noir style, very, very visually beautiful. The Bebop looks good. The storyline was tight. Really felt like it was progressing forward throughout the 10 episodes. So I don't understand what some others think, why they didn't like this episode, or why they didn't like the show. But that's everybody's flavor. The two things I am going to mention is there is a nice twist at the end that almost you honestly wouldn't see coming, except when you go back from the beginning and really think about it. It's like, oh, it was there the whole time. It was subtle. Very well done. Very nice. Now that's kind of a twist you like. Now, Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2. I'm going to basically talk about Kate Bishop. Specifically focused, she is not a Mary Sue, no matter what anybody says. It starts out with her being 5 years old. Her mom and dad are arguing about whatever. And she has one last conversation with her father before you realize this is the beginning of the Battle of New York from Avengers. And she is scared, terrified. She's screaming for her mom and dad. I mean, this is anything any real kid would do. Somehow the front of her house is blown up, and she's from a very, very wealthy family. So, thing blows up. She's terrified. Everything, these monsters are all around, and she sees Hawkeye up there on the balcony where he was, shooting his bow and arrow and defending people. He becomes her inspiration for why she does what she does throughout the episodes. Her father is killed during the Battle of New York. Her mother survives. They get out. Now we flash forward to where she's 22. Now, this is where a lot of people are going to think she's a Mary Sue, because she's been an archery champion. She learned how to got a black belt at 15. She knows how to fence. She's been a fencing champion. So, I mean, I could see people saying, she's the best this ever at everything. No, actually, she's not. There is a actual general understanding of why she's doing this. She felt helpless, powerless. So when at her dad's funeral, her mom was like, I'll get you anything you need. She goes, I need a bow and arrow. She has been trying to overachieve because she never wants to feel powerless or that sense of fear again. So she has tried to become the best. Honestly, she really does. It seems like even though she mentions she's been a champion at these things, you can tell with basically some of with all the trophies, she really doesn't care about the trophies. She honestly does not care. This is her way of coping. She suffered a horrible loss, and she has spent the rest of her life coping with it. And this is how she's coped, by trying to fight and make sure she never feels that again. That if anybody comes after her, she's going to be able to hold out. Her mother is very wealthy, as I said. She does a stupid thing where she takes her arrow because of a stupid college bet. And the thing is, she's supposed to make the bell ring from where she's at. Well, she makes the bell ring. Unfortunately, the bell falls down, breaks the clock tower. And her mom, of course, is told. And her mom's like, well, for starters, I've canceled all your credit cards. And she kind of doesn't really say much about that. She kind of figured this was going to happen, or some kind of punishment. And she owns up to it. She respects her mother very much. They seem to have a decent relationship. She does not care for the boyfriend. I think there are some ways she feels that if mom moves on, that, there's going to be nothing left of her father. And that's an understandable thing. I mean, I felt something like that when my mom got remarried. It really comes to a head at a banquet where they find out from the uncle of the boyfriend. I'm sorry, I don't have the names all memorized yet. That they're engaged. And here's an interesting thing. She has a bit of a rebellious streak because her mom asked her to put on the red dress that's up in her room. She shows up in a complete black tuxedo. And what she finds out about the engagement, she is visibly pissed off. She goes and confronts her mother and the boyfriend. And let me tell you something. This boyfriend, he is just trying to kill her with kindness. And she can't stand it. So everything comes to a head when she goes down. Minor spoiler. There turns out to be an illegal auction going on. She decides to play waiter, waitress, and goes down and kind of is milling around to see what's going on. One of the items that is for sale is the sword, Ronin sword, and the Roman armor that Hawkeye wore in between his time when he was doing that assassination work between Infinity War and Endgame. A mafia group comes through, blows up the sign, and they are stealing stuff from the auction. Now, they're looking for a specific watch. The reason why we are not really told. Kate gets the outfit, puts it on, and goes out and tries to play superhero. And while she does some decent Black Widow kicks and stuff, she gets her ass handed to her. I mean, they beat the shit out of her to the point where she has to run off. Also, she's not very bright about it because they eventually figure out where she lives. They figured out who she was and where she lives. Now we go to Hawkeye. Clint Barton is up in New York right now because this is where it takes place. Obviously, he doesn't live in that part of New York. He is with his kids. They are having family time. The wife is back at home. She couldn't make it. They're about to go back home the next day. And you can visibly tell he is both enjoying this, but he is still reeling from the death of Natasha. And, he's trying to connect with his kids. I wouldn't say, or even reconnect. For them, it was instantaneous. For him, it was 5 years of not having his wife and his 3 kids. So you can visibly see the mannerism on his face. It almost looks like he wants to break down in tears. So he is trying to do everything. And his kids love him. They think he's great. But he is also trying to give them, spend time with them. He doesn't want to lose this chance. He doesn't want to lose this ability again. He doesn't want to lose them again. So he wants to spend as much time with them as he can. They get to the hotel. TV pops on. And he sees Kate Bishop on TV. There's a news thing about the Ronin. And he sees her. And he's like, damn it. Because he knows what that suit represents. He eventually tracks down Kate Bishop very easily. I mean, it shouldn't have been too hard. He was a spy and an Avenger. And he pulls the hood off her. I mean, he grabs her and slams her against the wall and pulls the thing. And he goes, "You've got to be kidding me." And he is not happy about this. He does not mention that he is the person who's been in that suit, that he is the Ronin. He basically tells her, "Give me the suit." What ends up happening is, like I said, the Russians came in. They threw their Molotov cocktails, tried to burn the place. Clint tries to go back afterwards to find the suit. It's not there. He does figure out one of the firemen must have seen it, and he notices a LARP sticker. So Clint goes down to the LARP area. And he has no idea what live action role playing is. He thinks this is kind of crazy. And they were like, no, sorry, you can't come in. You think this would be the kind of part where I'm coming through here. You can't stop me. No, he's like, okay, what are the rules? What do I need to do? So he goes and finds the guy with the Ronin outfit on. And he's like, oh my God, you're Clint, you're Hawkeye. And he's like, bedazzled. He's like, listen, I don't have a lot of time. I need the suit. He's like, I need you to give me the suit. You can either give it to me or I'm going to take it. He's like, dude. And the guy's like, dude, you think maybe this guy would get mad and say, well, you can take it from him? No, he's like, no, man, I'll give you the suit. He's like, really? He goes, yeah, just let me do one thing. Yeah, let me kill you. It's like, and, he doesn't understand. No, not for real, So they have a little sword fight. And he's like, just hurry up and kill me. And he finally, kills them. And the guy is humbled and honored to have had a chance to do that with an Avenger. Because Clint does not see himself as a hero. He sees himself as just a regular guy. So he gets a lot of praise from people, and it makes him uncomfortable. So those are the two main characters that we've run into. Like I said, I think the actress is Kate Bishop's doing a good job. She's screwing up. She's making mistakes. She's not perfect, which is rather refreshing to have a character not like that. Okay, folks, that's my thoughts on Cowboy Bebop and the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye. in under 21 minutes.